It was going Welcome back to a brand new Asian session analysis or another daily analysis here. We're gonna be doing a little analysis on GJ and gold here. Starting off with gold here. Gold for the weekly looks pretty interesting as we have tapped that resistance, right? So it's interesting. Last week we were talking about how like if we were gonna break above this area over here, there's a high chance that gold's gonna drive up towards like 1850, right? And price did. Price broke above and it drove up towards 1850. But it was going to be a very interesting week just because like, from the technical perspective, just because price closed bullish, but it closed at resistance, right? So it's at that level where it's like, okay, goes gonna ask itself that question, like, okay, what am I gonna do here? Am I gonna reject or am I gonna continue up, right? Price has to make that decision at these levels. These are major levels that we're tapping. Price has to make a major decision here. It's like, okay, are we gonna reject or continue up? Obviously, last week price came up, but there was no confirmation. So gold needed a confirmation in order for us to actually continue going a certain way, right? If we wanted to drive up last week, what would have happened this week was price was supposed to really close above. Once we close above, that indicates that we're breaking above the resistance officially, and looking left, we should continue up towards the next resistance, right? But all price did was the same shit it did looking left. Like this right here was the same shit price did in the past. Price was at this resistance, and look what happened. Price really just rejected. Huge rejection to go down, right? Huge rejection to go down. So there's a very high chance that this week, since we closed at resistance, we closed bearish at resistance, that price is going to drive down this week. This is the weekly time frame, right? We're talking about the weekly time frame here. The weekly time frame candle is closing bearish now. Forget the wick, it's closing bearish, right? That's enough information to tell you that this week there's a high chance that we're going to drive down towards the next support level. Next support level is roughly down here at like 1840, 1845-ish, right? So 1850-ish, these levels right around here. Or even 1865, right? But as long as you respect the previous kind of high, which is up here, there's a high chance that this week's bearish candle should drive down towards the next support, like so. Right, you'll see something like this probably. Something like this, right? As long as you respect the previous kind of high, price is valid to drive down towards the next support there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this were to happen. Just look at our noise, right? Just look at this. So if this is your resistance right around here, and you're now closing bearish at the top of the range at resistance, what's price gonna do now? Very high chance that we're gonna drive down, coming down to fill this range. It's very clean, very clean for price to drive down, right? So I'm gonna have a bearish bias for the week. There's a very high chance this may happen, so I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the weekend. We may open up with a gap. I'm not sure what direction yet, but we may get a gap. And this week, guys, I will attempt a lot of runners, more than usual probably, because look at the range going down with the confirmation now, right? That we actually have rejection. Very high chance that price may just come down. This range going down is not small. It's a decent range. It's like a 290, 300 pip range going down towards 1857. If that breaks, then you look at 1835. That's like a 500 pip range going down. That's crazier than last week, or last week, sorry, last week was 800 pips, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You guys know what I mean. It's a big range, so expect a lot of runners this week. So yeah, my bias for the week is bearish. The day time frame also closed bearish as well. If you look left here, there was once a support level right around here at 1896, and then at one point there's a resistance right here. The reason why I have it right marked up here and not here just yet, because I'm trying to explain to you guys that this was a range that we're in on gold, and price, what happened was it closed above the range at one given point, closed above, and then price just came back into the range, right? So the moment we close above, that indicates that price now should continue up. But with price closing back into the range after a huge rejection with the wick, this is a fake out. And then that's why Friday's candle drove down. This is Thursday's candle, and then we discussed Friday's candle coming down as well. And then Friday's candle drove down, and look where we closed, below this range here. So if this is your overall range you have for gold, this support and this resistance, and now you're officially closing below the range, an actual bearish candle closure, what do you think is going to happen next week? there's a very high possibility that today's daily candle is gonna drive down since this is a day time frame. It's gonna drive down towards the next support, right? If the weekly is bearish and the daily time frame is closing bearish as well, there's a high chance today's candle is gonna drop down as long as it respects this high right around here. You look, your targets for a day are like 1871, this minor support right here, and even like this minor support down here next, right? If we break through. So you might even see this candle, instead of just driving down towards that next minor support, it may just even drive down towards the next level support down here as well. Or just be aware, looking left. This is what you want to do. Look left. This is all clean traffic on gold now. Looking left as you get closer below the range. This is the first candle that's closing below compared to these other candles here that are rejected. Right? So candle closure below indicates you have volume, and I wouldn't I would expect price to drive down towards the next support. Looking left, this is all clean traffic. All right. So targets here 1870 or targets here 1855 for the day. So even for the day, you have potential runners. The day you have runners of like the 300 pips. So during the Asian session, during London, I may start looking for runners. Just be aware that it's a new daily candle, it's a new weekly candle. So expect the weekly and the daily candle to create a top wick before it starts to drive down throughout the week. But it should be very interesting. That is daily on gold. Drop down to a small time from here. If I'm looking for sells for the Asian session or any session or London or whatever session today, I want to really see us break below the support here, because this is a pretty decent support you have here. Pretty nice support too. Structure is looking very clean this week. Price action is looking very, very clean this week. So if you get a closure below like 1883 here, there's a high chance you could come down towards the next support, which is going to be down here or even down here at 1875, right? That's your next target for the next range on a small time frame. The range going down is like 80 pips, right? It's an 80 pip range going down. All you need is a closure below the range, something like this. And then once you get a closure below range, you should be able to drive down. Looking left, this all clean traffic, drive down towards the 1875 for a day for the session, right? Keep in mind, we will probably open up a gap, so expect a lot of volume on the market opening today. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So sells below 1883, coming down towards 1875 for the Asian session. And then if that level breaks, then you have more ranges coming down towards like 1866. And if 1866 breaks, you have more traffic coming down towards like 1854, 1853-ish, right? These levels down here. But the only way we can come down here is if we start to break these levels down here, over here. But if you look on a weekly time frame, the higher time frame, it already shows you that we should come down towards here. Like this on a higher time frame is clean traffic. So on a small time frame, yeah, you use this as your entry points. You're looking at clean traffic on a small time frame, trying to catch range to range to range. On a higher time frame, you already see this happening, right? So all you gotta do now is put the pieces together to solve one big puzzle. All right, that's gold. Moving on to GJ. GJ for the week is gonna be bearish, right? So last week we discussed how we're gonna drop down. Obviously, price closed bearish and then it drove down towards next support clean, right? But it left a wick fill here on a weekly. So since we are closing below, I guess you can say here, I guess you can say this is a resistance, and then this is like some type of minor support right around here. This is a range that we're in at one given point. We are actually closing below now, so therefore I believe today's candle has a very high chance to drive down towards the next support level, which is going to be down here at these ranges to fill that wick and fill these ranges here down at 153,500. So as long as you respect the previous weekly candle high, which is up here, today's candle or this week's candle should drive down towards the next support like this, coming down towards the bottom of the range. All right, so I'm looking for sells today or this week on GJ, coming down towards that 153-ish level, 153, 400, 153, 300, 153, 154-ish, right? Around those areas right there. The daily time frame shows you that you're bullish though. So the question comes now, well, the weekly is closing bearish, but it's the first day of the daily candle, and we can still continue up for a day. Like the weekly candle high is where last week. Let's just mark it up as up here for now, just to show you guys, right? 156,817. That's the weekly high. So as long as the day candle doesn't break the weekly highs, we're valid. The day candle can break the day highs, right? As long as it respects the weekly high, it should still drive down for the week overall, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we drive up today to fill the next resistance, which is up here at like 156-ish. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But as long as you respect first count low today, price should drive up towards next resistance. And next resistance is going to be roughly around these areas here. 156, 155, 155.836, 155.900, 156-ish. Those areas right there. So expecting those areas to get filled today. as I am bullish for the day, right? Daily bias is bullish today. So if I want to see bias for GJ here, I would really want to see if I'm not sure if this is too clean. Because yeah, there's a resistance here, but I believe it's gonna be too early into the session to figure out if this is gonna be a strong resistance or not, because this is like a little range we're forming here. Nothing too crazy, but this is the most recent resistance. And if you do break above 155.067, you can look for buys going up towards like 155.483-ish, right? This range going up is like 4 pips going up, 48 pips going up in the range here. So I want to see us close above here during Asian session, and then maybe during Asian we can pop up. Oh, wrong candle color. Bullish. Yeah, maybe during Asian session we can pop up once you close above this range here. All right, so expecting this to occur. Versus tap 155.483 here today. All right. And if you don't like those buys, then you have more buys above the range. Above the range, above 155.483, you do now have clean traffic until like 155.827, 815-ish, right? So that's your next resistance here. Range going up is gonna be 41 pips, and then above that other range is gonna be roughly like 33 pips. All right. But that's all for today. Pretty simple analysis on both pairs. The gold's looking very clean, very high chance to come down this weekend. GG looking very clean as well for the weekly. All right. That's about it, guys. So hope you guys had a great weekend. We are back tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on the live stream. So I'll catch you guys there. And let's have a great week this week. All right, guys. Cheers. Peace out.